Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is still doing well this evening. Let's end the month of May with a bonus. So, before we get into it, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. The merch is displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It doesn't cost a cent. Click that like button. It takes half a second. If you don't want to miss any of the informative and exciting uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon. And finally, last but definitely not least, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all these things, they definitely help this channel to continue to grow and go, and they matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with tonight's bonus, shall we? All right, guys, so I'm imagining the majority of us are all familiar with the encounter a dogman and a bear called Captain. The bear was protecting its kind of territory, its property, also a family. And the dogman came up on the losing end of their brawl. Well, tonight's bonus is a park ranger out of Maine who shares a head-to-head that he witnessed between a dogman and a bear, and the bear is not so lucky. Let's get into it. Today's first dogman encounter. Jeffrey, how are you? I hope you are well. Long-time listener, first time sharing these with anyone other than friends and family. Let's get right to it, brother. So I live in the northern Maine woods, and my family has for generations. My great-great-granddad was a logger, and so on all the way down to my dad. I work for the Maine Bureau of Parks and Lands. Needless to say, I grew up in the woods. To be honest, the nearest paved road from my house is about 30 miles. I've heard stories from my granddad and grandma about Bigfoot in the apple groves, and I guess one robbed my gram's honeycomb sheets right out of the hive, so I've always known these things existed. My great-granddad told my granddad about another type of Bigfoot that looked just like a wolf and were real nasty critters, he said. He also stated they would hunt the loggers back in the early part of the 1900s. The natives up here had a different name for them. About 6 years now, back in the early part of 2014, I was out checking trap tags, making sure there was no illegal trapping going on. You see, during season, the traps have to have identification on who owns them, otherwise we take the traps out. So, here I am about 4 to 5 miles out away from my truck. Beautiful day, about high 40s and sunny. Now I'm hiking about and the local wildlife are doing their business when all of a sudden, listen to me, Jeff, it went silent. All I heard was the crunching of the snow from me, not anything else. It's the beginning of April, so everything's busy normally. This stops me, so I start looking around. About 400 yards, I see this massive brownish-black mass moving around. I stare at this thing and realize it's this huge 300 to 400 pound black bear. Just a big old boy. He's looking around for food and whatever. I decide at this point to turn around and head back to my truck. I start toward my truck, and I'm about 1,000 yards from the big boy, and I see just out of the corner of my eye another brownish mass, blur, going towards the big boy. I stop because now I'm thinking 2 black bear in the same area. This isn't going to be good. So I position myself behind this huge pine and grab my monocular and unsling my 870 Magnum shotgun. I start scanning where the bear was, and to my horror, see what I can only describe as a werewolf on roids approach the bear. The bear sees the creature and lets out this growl roar sound, like saying back off, and stands up. The bear was easily 7 feet tall and 300 to 400 pounds. This Dogman was at least a foot taller and about the same weight. The Dogman is massive and suddenly lunges for the bear. The bear drops down to all fours and explodes upward in attack mode. These 2 beasts are tearing into each other, biting and wrestling around. The bear made the Dogman stumble back and bites into its leg. As it does this, the Dogman leans in, or falls in, but starts biting the back of the bear's neck and scratching around its face area. The bear lets out this sound of pain, and it's the sound I will never forget and I don't want to hear again. I just see blood everywhere on the snow. The bear goes limp and the Dogman grabs it by its head and threw it at a tree about 5 feet away. The bear hits it with a crunch. Seconds after, the Dogman licks its legs where the bear had bit into it and stops and starts smelling the air and turns its head, and it sets its head into my direction. Now I'm shitting my pants even more, and I draw a bead on this creature with my 870, praying it doesn't come toward me. I take 1 shot. I know I didn't hit it, or maybe I did. But when my 870 went off, the creature took off. I waited for about 2 to 3 minutes, scanning around me, looking for this fucking creature. I didn't see anything. I carefully walked over to the bear, and that poor bear was barely clinging to life. He was done. I had to dispatch the poor bear. I got back to my truck and got on the radio. I knew no one was going to believe what I saw. I reported I came across a bear that was mauled by another bear. 4 other guys and myself dragged this bear out of the woods with a struggle. And this Dogman thing threw it like it was a rag doll. Later that week, when the necropsy, an autopsy for animals, was done, it was stated that they never saw a black bear attack so bad and savagely. I think about that day often still. I still go out in the woods for my job, but I carry 2 Glocks and my 870. These creatures are real. They are not friendly. Please be careful, everyone. Jeff, good luck and stay strong. Today's second encounter. I saw a creature while I was camping in Pennsylvania. I was with a couple of friends and they saw it as well. It had yellow eyes and almost a human sort of face. It had very long, wrinkly ears. It had hair or fur on it as well, and the face, all over its face. It had very large hands and very skinny arms. It had, I noticed, its legs, they were kind of bent backwards at the knees, like hyperextended. The most disturbing thing about it, and it still haunts me to this day when I think about it, was its head movement. It kind of moved like it was a pigeon head, very darty, very quick movements. And when I saw this, it was maybe 2 feet away from me. I don't think it knew I was there because I was sleeping in a Volkswagen van, and it was in a campground called Otter Lake in Pennsylvania. There were a couple of hunters that were up fairly late by the fire, and it seemed to be very engaged in what they were doing. It was paying a lot of attention to them, peering its head around at the campers very suddenly. At first, I thought it was another camper, and then my eyes adjusted, and I saw what it was, and I was obviously terrified. And for the rest of the night, me and my buddies just cowered in the van. We even called the state police, and they acted like they didn't know where we were. I think they thought we were drunk. They kind of laughed and said they have no idea where that is. We would know how to get you. They suggested to stay in the car, and that was basically it. Not very helpful. Another thing, I don't know if this was related, but I heard a really weird call, almost two-toned, almost like a scream and another call all in one. Today's third Dogman encounter. Worthington State Park, New Jersey, August 23rd, 2015. Roughly 1 in the morning, on a bright night. A large dogman was spotted. It had a large head, featured tall pointed ears with a long muzzle. The man that saw it described its torso and upper legs as densely muscular. He also noticed that it walked on its toe pads as canines do. He estimated the creature to weigh something over 200 pounds, and it stood between 6 to 7 feet tall. He noticed the creature seemed poised and balanced on its hind legs. Today's fourth encounter comes to us from Cambria County, Pennsylvania, Wilmore Reservoir, June 1st, 2018. The gentleman had been fishing at a lake at dusk. Between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, he noticed something at the edge of the nearby woods. A large bipedal creature. As he focused on the being, he soon realized that it was white in color, and that it resembled a wolf on 2 legs, watching him. He described the being as totally white in color, fur and skin, with a large wolf-like head. The body was tapered, with an extremely narrow waist and a thick muscular chest. The arms were long and muscular, with long fingers. The hocked legs also had well-defined muscular build. The arms and legs and head were fur-covered, while the torso and chest were sparse with hair every once in a while. He estimates the creature's height to about 7 feet tall. The creature looked at the gentleman for several seconds, then turned to its right and walked along the edge for about 20 to 30 feet. It then ducked back into the woods.
All right, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's end of the month bonus upload. Kind of a thank you for everyone supporting the channel. And I truly do appreciate all the support. Like I said, when I am stressed out and I don't know what to do with myself, I just sit in my studio and I don't know what to do. So I was like, let's just put out a video for y'all. Anyway, guys, thanks for all the well wishes for my pops. With that, stay safe, happy, healthy, and God bless every one of you.